Guys, welcome back to Sherry's Corner. I was just going to do a little video because I want this to be on to go across everywhere for what I am about to say, because you can't make these things up. And we're just sitting it all today. You can see right there or right there, my dogs are inside. That's the puppy. He'll probably pop up. That's Winston. Cars keep going by and I don't know why, but anyway, in 2019, my husband was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. It was in January. He went to the doctor first, and they couldn't hardly hear. He was like full of fluid, and he had a hard time getting his breath. So they called an ambulance and took him to the hospital. And my dad had called me at work, and one of my friends come to pick me up and drop me off where the car was, and I drove to the hospital. And I met him in the ER, and they told us then that he was in congestive heart failure, and they was going to admit him, get some fluid off of him, and they gave him like 3 boluses, which is these big like shot type of thing, and they shot him in the IV, and it shot the fluid quickly, and he started getting rid of some of that water so he could breathe. And the doctor said he was one of the special cases around where he doesn't swell up from the legs first. That's how you know you're gaining fluid. He fills up from the waist up, which is a little bit more dangerous, because then when it's full and it's in your lungs, you need to get to the hospital. So they admitted us, and cardiology come in, and they did an echocardiogram, and his ejection fraction, his heart was only 15%. And so, which is not good. So we processed that, and we never took heart failure as being, that's his death sentence. I watched my father go through it, and then I watched my father pass away in 2020, and it'll be 5 years this December. But when he was diagnosed with that, I was not thinking about that at all. We just, no death sentence, we're just going to deal with this, and you know, and I'd worked in the hospital before, and I knew, but I'm like, no, we're going to work together, and we're going to see what we can do. So they put him in, he had to wear an external defibrillator, and we had to get used to that for a while, and he needed to wear it for 6 months. And what an external defibrillator is that you wear this big vest, and you carry around a monitor on you, and it's hooked to your heart over here. And in the event that his heart would have stopped working, it would have went off, and it would have shocked his heart and called 911. So we had to get used to the bells and whistles on that. But a funny story, when we first got that, when we went to bed that night, we didn't realize that if the batteries were dead, or that it would go off, it would let us know, it would make that beep. Didn't know what the beep was. So we're laying in bed, and all of a sudden, I was just getting ready to go into that, deep sleep. That thing went, by George, I jumped up out of there, and he jumped up, he took that thing off, and he was like, I'm here. And I looked, and it says battery low, change your batteries. And we laughed, because we didn't know what the sound was going to be. So we got used to that. And so that was in January, and he went to cardiac rehab, from January, February, March, April, and May. And then in April, one of our friends, he was able to go to church, and he went to church with the defibrillator on. One of our friends come up to us, and he said, Leon, he said, we've been praying, and he said, we're going to pray for a miracle, that you don't have to wear this defibrillator. God's going to end up healing you. And I'm like, his heart is at 15%. It's not going to get any higher. So from January, February, March, April, May, we went to the doctor the end of May, first part of June. So it had been 6 months that he had that. And the doctor did another echocardiogram. And that echocardiogram showed that his heart went to 25%. And we were like, yes. And they said, you don't have to wear the defibrillator at 25%, but we want you to keep up the cardiac rehab for another 2 months. So so June and July, he was on the, sorry about that noise. June and July, he was on the cardiac rehab. When we went back to the doctor in July, they did another echocardiogram, 35%. And the doctor said, this is what you're going to have to live with. Look at Winston. This is what you're going to have to live with, 35%. So they gave us, heart medicines and stuff to go on. And so that's what he's been at, 35%. And we were able to do stuff that summer, and we kind of like made plans to do stuff with our family, and we went camping down at Summersville. And so each year, I post, he's in the hospital again. Winters are very hard on him because he can't sweat. And so he sits in the house, and there's only minimal stuff that he can do. So he fills up with fluid. We go to the hospital. They have to get the fluid off of him. So that went on that went on from 2019, 2020, 21 till today. We're just hospitalized. He was in AFib. I got videos of all that, of when he was in AFib, the ablation, sending him to Pittsburgh. And on January, in December of 2022, he had a really, really bad December. From November to December. Prognosis was not right. He had been in the hospital since July of 2022, in the hospital for a week to get the fluid off. He got weaker. August in the hospital for 5 days, got the fluid off. September, by October, he was so weak, he was just tired. He said, I'm tired. I'm like, don't say you're tired. Don't say that. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to find the right regimen. We got to find this. That Christmas, Alex proposed to Dakota. As soon as the ball dropped, so it was 2023. And he had just got out of the hospital. And after he was, she proposed, and we had a beautiful, beautiful night that night. That video is also in my videos. He ended up back in the hospital 2 days later, the first part of 2023. And it was bad. It was rough. And we had already said that we would have a foreign exchange student that year. And the following year. And so I'm trying to remember dates, so I'm sorry, but when he got out of the hospital, while he was in the hospital, Dakota and Alex come in, and they wanted to get married very quickly. That's how bad he was. So they decided to get married on January 2nd, 2023. And just his family, just her family. So we had Mom, we had me, Dakota. Garrett was able to come back, and he married them. And we had that beautiful ceremony on our back porch because she wanted her dad to see her married. That's how bad things were. And so we kept that a secret because she wanted the big, huge wedding. She wanted to be able to walk down the aisle and let everybody wow her. So that was just an intimate ceremony on our back porch with a fire. It was beautiful. And then we all went out to eat and stuff that evening. And so he started getting better, going back to cardiac rehab. On June 15th of 2023, he was able to walk his daughter down the aisle and dance with her at her big wedding. And we were so, as I watched them dance, I was crying because I was thinking, Lord, we didn't think think that he would be here for this, you know. And she had the best of both worlds. We had the intimate ceremony with just us on our back porch, but then she was able to have her dad at both ceremonies. And it was just amazing. And how they told everybody that day is they did a game, and it was raise your shoe, you know, and they had their backs turned, and if you think it was the bride, if you think it was the groom, and then the DJ said whose wedding anniversary is really January 12th, 2023, and both of their hands went up, and everybody was like, what? Wait, what? And so they did a beautiful video for everybody to see, and she talked about how life changes. And I had just gotten out of the hospital in 22 when I was sick. None of us thought we was going to make it in 2023. It's when my appendix went AWOL, you know, and so everything was just, it'll be 2 years since all of that happened. And here we are today. We've fought. He's fought. I've did regiments, you know, we deal with it. So take it today. It was on Thursday. Well, in February of this year, he passed out on us in the house and scared us to death. We couldn't figure out why. So he ended up in the hospital for that, and they was like, we chalked that one up. He didn't eat anything all day, so he took his blood sugar medicine. We thought, well, his blood sugar dropped. That's what made him pass out. So they sent him home, told him not to do that anymore. And we have a telehealth here, and we have where he takes his blood pressure every morning and his weight, and I have to change the medications. If he's put on 3 or 4 pounds, we have to up the fluid pill. So we've done this for 6 years. I was at work on Thursday, and I get a message from David. Leon just passed out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm only 3 miles from where I work, and I'm thinking I need to go. And then I thought, no, wait a minute, if he's out, what if he doesn't know how to do CPR? I didn't know if he had come to yet. So I was in the middle of class, and I was like, so I went over to the corner, and I was like, I gotta call 911 real quick. And I'm still stuffing backpacks, and I'm in my classroom, and I'm trying to be quiet, but yet I'm scared, but I didn't want to upset my 4 and 5 year olds. So I call, and I'm like, the 911 dispatcher, come on there. And so my kids are like, shh, Miss Walker's on the phone. She had to call 911. I heard her say this. So the room got quiet. And so I talked to the dispatcher, told him what happened, sent him here, and out the door I left. And the kids are all like, she called 911 on her friend. She's going to go save her friend. That's what one of the moms had messaged me later. And I was like, oh, I love my babies. So as I was coming 3 miles, the ambulance came, and they beat me here. So we go to, I follow him to the hospital. They already had him loaded up, so off to the hospital we went. I talked to the doctor today. That was on Thursday. Friday, he was okay. His blood pressure was really low. His blood pressure was 70/42. His heart rate was 50. They didn't understand why, and so they admitted him. They did another echocardiogram. They did a CT scan, because when he fell, he hit the back of his head, and of course he's on blood thinners. So when you fall and do that, you have a chance of a bleed. Well, the CT scan said no bleed, and which was great. So we did the echocardiogram, and I talked to the doctor today, and his kidney functions are low, but not low enough to be alarmed. He does not have an infection, but get this. The ejection fracture on the echocardiogram showed that his heart is 50%. Do you hear what I'm saying? 50%. I said, excuse me, do you have the right patient? Because they said it would never get above 35%. And I asked that 3 times, and that doctor's like, I read it, I saw it. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are sitting here, but wow. So they said with his heart being 50%, all of those heart medications that he was on will lower his blood pressure. and lower the heart rate, and that's why he keeps passing out, because his blood pressure is too low. So they took him off, did all of that, and they're going to run some tests to see about the kidney function, and they're going to put in what they call this cardiac loop, which will go underneath the skin, and then it will let us know exactly why his heart rate is only going to the 50s. So today his daughter, see my babies, today his daughter and them came. Welcome back to Sherry's Corner. What's good?
What's poppin'?
We are
the Brown Buns. Yeah, son.
But they came and we walked him. He got up to walk. It was 80. His blood pressure was 80/42 today, but he was able to walk. He's a little bit dizzy, so they're going to keep him and get him up some PT because he's been in bed for 4 days. But guys, we just wanted to celebrate that. That doesn't happen, and that doctor said this is unheard of. And I'm just thinking, I have had him on this prayer chain, this person's praying, this church is praying. If you don't believe in God or believe in miracles, this is one. And we have cried and we have laughed, and it was like amazing things. And and I'm still in awe. But we're going to take it as a win. So they're going to wean him off stuff, and then they said, now just because your heart's at 50%, do not go out and live a sedentary lifestyle. Keep doing what you're doing. Do your cardiac rehab. Continue to eat how you're eating, So we're going to keep up what we were doing at home, and we're just thanking God that this happened, because it does not happen. And I just wanted to jump on here and share that with you, because if you're down or you're this, there is a God, and we don't understand why we went through valleys, and then we were up, and then we went through valleys, but celebrate that with us. Celebrate this win that he's at 50%. And I mean, it's just amazing. I'm going to post this tomorrow on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of my mothers out there, and mothers to be. Hannah's going to be a mother for the first time in September, but she's already carrying a grandbaby. So we will find out what the gender of that is next Saturday, and I will do a video on that. Trust me. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Because we're always open and honest. This is real life here. I shared my struggles. I shared his hospitalization. So why not share the victories as well? So if you've made it this far, give me a heart emoji and share this out to people who are discouraged. And I will show you the video next week of what my grandbaby's going to be. I think it's going to be a girl, so I'm saying that right now. But thank you again for your support, your love. I appreciate each and every one of you. You take time out of your day to watch my videos and give me support. And I thank you for helping making my channel grow. Have a happy Mother's Day once again to all my mothers, and I will see you around the corner.